Exi Ponkno
Needs FM.
Exi Ponkno
Needs FM.
What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. Sema Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN etnasi Ewo the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. Now we say Ebuna den numre Yawa den numre 7:30 p.m. Radio Soyede political show at political show at Emudu Mark Jerry ended the Torchlight. I say upon any country.
The best station in the capital, Meet FM.
What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. What's yet the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. Sema Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN etnasi Ewo the Torchlight Jumedi Ewo Nits 100.9. na wonim say ebuna den numre ya waden numre 7:30 biano radio so ayede political show adesua wo political show emudu Mark Jerry and the Torchlight ayese epono ene botre Would the Torchlight Jumedi ewo NIT 100.9.
Jemo akwaba ne anwumre yi adebe NIT 100.9. Meba cho ene ho tesen. Eno ma ekosen na wukọ adwuma mu tesen. Adwuma boko de. Wanya kakra de agu botom. Ana akọ na adwane nye. Asemo. Madam fu bi o trotro meet. Anda bia na mani bre no me say eko. O ana mani bre pa. Anon tiasi. Because we work every day unhusike ni meme unhusike ni maji 30 days. Ne kura na father anu akeka ne ho. Ene ya 30 days ni kura nso. Utu ankantema hey, wentu ya kantema hey. Ko utu ya kantema na wanhwe ne wani beba won so no. Na je se bosome na wo be se bosome ba ku si mu a as 2 months no. Azemo. Okay, me mo akwaba. Beda se wachi mafidie na odi ato ha. Dwumade ye friend Torchlight. Torchlight. Ofa torch na. Na je se wo de hwe o man Ghana animo. Ebnada ne ye wada bia na ye de dwumade ye de brɛw. Me a me de dwumade ne tia me midin e de Magjerio OSEI AGYEMAN. Ye tra sese na ya manyo asem ne ye bom gidigidi ne ye kɔ. Oman ne ye chechere ye be kan sama ye de bebu oman no ensama yede shepu oman ne yede boa na oman na konkan eno ne ye ho adwuma wa ha na ne enkoma ye ba bedi ne de etiawa ye ba be hwe MPP wo internal presidential primaries and matters arising say ye ka say amafo declare officially Dr. Brian Champo we declare ne officially wan po bie no as declare honorable Kennedy Japan waka. But Dr. Baumia de na officially MI. But the tie bia ne de ehwe peteta krema Dr. Mahmoud Baumia eba. Owura Patrick Boama so no so watu na numutuo by a official declaration na ya hwe owura boache agyakon. Na engineer Kwabene Japan. So far said the no because here came MPP for less than 1 month. I want to be National Delegates Conference. National Delegates Conference. Baso ewo University of Ghana. Okpongbulo he ya de hade ya twieti ya ne etemu ho. Na sa National Delegates Conference no be kono. Enoma bebre na be kwa ase. Because MPP constitution enoma bi gwomu a the highest decision making body no one be gia 2 months sana party net media ye adwuma Edoso. So by the close of one national delegate conference, and you be who no more with you 2 minutes, your man yan 2 minutes, your analysis be a yetimia ye. Say yaka krano, kwa yes, presidential date, one call it for the early date, kwa yes, ebi kasa nhwa nansesa ye bi aba national delegates conference and I say, is that the case? Because when the way kasa or Canadian ko, when so the kasa or no so Canadian ko. Enuti kwa ba say ye nyina ye de ni a chire ni a che the realities on the ground. Na ba memra me take se wo hwe womo declare womo support edema potential candidates here. Me panche wo. Womo MPs. Womo hold party positions. Say ye constituency, say ye region. Say ye national. Is it good? Say Obia who hold party office. We ye member of the National Executive Committee. Na ebeba say we declare openly will support Ediama any of the potential candidates. Eyana. Eye. Enti eyade ane yebedi hu komo pa. Yebedi hu komo. Ene eye one-on-one with eye Razak Kwajopoku. Yeto abawie ye. This is the first time I'm in here. Matwe no Edenaba studio ha. Razak Kwajopoku doctor. No, the doctor no medium in pefe say the doctor and the academic doctorate. But Jimmy Sen bisa no confirm because they say eye ya na nkrofui. O matwe letter say mo use doctors mo hwe ni. So Dr. Razak Kwajopoku, founding president at the UP Tradition Institute. And then on the guest ovia. Ye be the party mon komo. Na ye din komo the future of the party. They say on also teenage sha omuko opposition ni normal ekosen. Ye be din komo extensively. NPP, one more the crata be about to abonti and say crata and say midi kan answer. Because we are she and nobody about to ewaha. A new patriotic party. She and a woman de a crata way. One more the about to mua. It dis say yabekai. Na sa we NPP ba na weti in sama general secretary or the about to ja. Ebia na wunhu na nunie. Also for immediate release. New Patriotic Party to invite all presidential hopefuls. Takes disciplinary action against Bono Regional Chairman Mr. Kwame Bafo alias Abronye. The National Steering Committee of the New Patriotic Party at its meeting on Tuesday, that is June 24, 2025, resolved as follows. To invite all personalities who have so far publicly declared their intentions to contest in the forthcoming MPP presidential primary to a joint meeting with the steering committee and the National Council of Elders. The meeting, which is expected to discuss matters of mutual interest, is scheduled to take place on Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Refers the Bono Regional Chairman, Mr. Kwame Bafo, alias Abronye, to the party's National Disciplinary Committee for breaching directives of the National Council, cautioning him to refrain from making unguarded public comments. Directs the immediate cessation of all caucuses or associations of present and former party executives, government appointees holding meetings with presidential aspirants in breach of party regulations. Now more than I'm okay. A hundred diametres on a matreno because I say must say early Congress 31st January. Now 31st January, how many months enaka It's not as a more person which I say still there is a ban on campaigning. Hey, Mama to us well. The party wishes to once again remind members of their constitutional obligations to protect party unity, to abide by and publicly support the party's decisions, and to refrain from engaging in acts that threaten party cohesion. Signed, Justin Kodia Frimpong, General Secretary. Now, they say MPCs, former declare, MPC be declare, former MMDCC be declare. National officers and I said regional and our constituency chairman nominee ideas, especially constituency, because many constituency be more chairman and the power because many need you for Kwamuha. Or your chairman or one of the constituencies. Honestly, I declare or be ordinary. It's a no somewhere in there. Say party no that point 3 no na me mente was. Because party they say discuss the immediate cessation of all caucuses or associations of present and former party executives, government appointees holding meetings with the presidential aspirants in breach of party regulations. Sure. Now, woman holding meetings as 6 months as you get to party way. A one day, and what challenge? Indeed, I think Yamea Doma, and then me time in Shadan ye enough in into a 10 morning show no sono. Mefre party paying for no my baby chim. Say, still every band on person one more elected ban. That is next month, and okay, one say next month because next month won't be a nomination. But every new hole. Every new one presidential candidate to potential aspirants, every new one it meetings in the yeah, the grown you. Hey, what na wa bosom be in siapew in sian song. Ah well, iti enoso ye be de ho komo. Iti wey ene krata MPP party ne diaba. Me bon tofa e de amawa. MPP party ne say wo mo ba be hia obia wa ba bonte abeka se opeso ogina do tun frank adema party no be hia omo ya wada. Enu akire no eya abronye kwa me bafo party na to nsa afre no wo mutu no fo ka kire ne say suben bi a order na di nsem bi okeka no nsem na moa itu onyai ba kwa me bafo anyai eni ti sabiri eye committee abedwoku a se wudi bone wo MPP mu a ye twon ebegina o manim no wo mo twe kwa me bafo ono no ye bono regional chairman wo mo twe no kwa kushia party mpanifo itina nsem no de awo mu de Justin Kodua na de aba betodwa Dr. Razak Kwajopoku Bemoajo.
My Jerry Major so.
Na nyame adom bako wonso an.
Nyame adom.
Na wonim say wo ye candidate for PhD nyina na edi ho komo.
Yeah.
Why your graduation awie?
Oh, da.
Na one ton sam frame one ka bibia nkyerem.
Yeah, sorry.
One ka bibia nkyerem.
Yeah, sorry.
But at least okay, yes. No problem. It's whatever they are show.
It was a 4 years program.
Oh, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, and you PhD in what?
PhD in marketing.
Marketing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, you know
UPSA.
UPSA. Oh, okay. That's good. Congratulations. And what the name? Yanum the be a woman church on crat at the moment. No. Why are they
as part of respect to academia, no?
Yeah.
In your PhD, na me for PhD in comedy.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Because now you know, say now you were a candidate.
Yeah.
And for that matter, no one fan come with the hotel.
So say
yes.
You graduate here. And you have satisfied all the requirements.
Requirements. Yeah.
Now you can use it.
Yeah. Yeah. The Nyakopon say.
Sure.
And the sky is unlimited because at your age, as young as you are now. Okuta with PhD the NHS wakobi why are there pa Yamia there enough for
23 students after 4 years 5 minutes me graduate
5 per
so some of my colleagues will finish this year or more money so maybe next year they can
me
easy tina guitar
and no you say guitar kai wa because almost at the end easy and my boss will be no so cause Charlie Mark me call you no in fact or say the supervisors near or say one more accept or say they disagreed Who's a PhD level? Yeah, because we're failing. I said, no. They disagreed with my thesis. And I was like, you failed, or they disagreed? I said, no. One day, I said, they disagreed with my thesis.
Process now,
yeah.
Easy.
Yes.
Viva or final defense.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes presentation.
Okay.
1 hour, 45 minutes
questioning.
From 3 external examiners. You're
That's
on your
right.
feet because as I would try to work on it.
Oh, now, yeah. And just so we
must own it. You have to prove ownership.
Yes.
And Tiano also know when to prove ownership, they can fail you. They'll give you another 1 year to come back. Yeah.
Wow. And therefore,
and simple. But now the exchange or more bread.
Yeah.
I'll go through the process to get it. Normally, we don't even like.
And the panic doesn't even bother say, oh, now be you see. Oh, friend, one friend, no. Because one friend, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change it. That's correct. Yamuakwaba, have you ever called it?
Oh, Nyamiado.
Yes, Anache.
The last time we met was 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Achepa. Yeah, free money. Yes.
There was so much pressure on our side.
True. Mate. Na Razak, so far, I'm saying woman na the bibia betum. Woman na the bibia betum. MPP defeat 2024 elections, you know. What in nature when say?
You made us say me share a TFO now. The defeat there, in fact, a hard drain, unless of course, only a true blue blood member of the New Patriotic Party. Yeah, defeat na na ye belu sukrana, it shouldn't be of that magnitude. Because sure, this is the first time a party in government also with that margin. Before 2024, Nona Mahama holding that record of losing with 44.4 and close to 1 million vote difference. And I in term. To the better to year 2024 now share a gap over 1 point something million. As you speak, there's one outstanding constituency.
Ablekuma North, yeah.
Say you see added that results now. There's likelihood even our percentage differential might change. The 41.75 is very likely it can change. It can go up, it can drop. See now we should defeat enough. Or they compare your parliamentary strength a hard because Marjorie party BR who is based on your strength in parliament, not necessarily even the presidency. To who then across the country and a better say or party a nationally represented or is a regionally represented. Now we share your performance in parliament as you speak. There are about 4 regions, 1 city crying.
Yeah.
0 seats.
0 seats, yes.
How? 16 regions, 4, only 1 seat. It doesn't make your party
nationally represented.
And even defeat the provision in the constitution if you are even going by that. They are not saying, okay, you sue the American system now. It will be so difficult for us to win power in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very, very difficult.
Okay, who say American system there is by college.
It's by college.
Who win the region now? Automatic where we need.
Exactly. It's not by popular votes.
And your popular votes, yes.
You can go by the American system. Can people were big challenge to defeat the NDC. No, the youth within the party. No, I see it to me who beyond your godfather or your godmother interest. No, sebi umbe wako na yewaha. Kwa ben ye befa so aye party na ye party no. Yakotoa bakra ni yedi ncho our presidential. Enkoba say 4 regions out of 16 regions we have no seat. It doesn't make sense to me. Odi no kra koto honoma. Other regions, how come a whole Bono region, a Bra Bono region, one of our forebearers, or be a prime minister?
Yeah.
Okay, Buzia, a whole Bono region, you were 1 seat. I mean, how? Our region 1 seat, Bono is 1 seat. Like Greater Accra region, the national capital, the region and serving the national capital of this country. You were 3 pay. I mean, it's very, very sad. There's a Nyasa Ashanti region, any eastern region, and so you more. Can him go as any day and cannot.
I can't put up.
Cannot. Papa. Mahama Boye Pa. Both the presidential and the parliamentary. And there's nothing you can do about it. And you can't dispute that fact. Election defeat in the Ghana for actually say Article 1.1 of the 92 Constitution as stated clearly said the sovereignty resides in the people. Omoche in 2024 say they have the power.
They have the power, yeah.
We are just a trustee of that power. It is a doba bemu na se wa meye enoma omope ye kan se muntie ye kire adwen muntie ufize nyanse wo wiase nyina egu trim. It's not like that. Even if you are a PhD, it's restricted to a particular area of knowledge. You don't have a PhD in all areas of knowledge.
Yeah.
Even if you are a professor, you're a professor of a specific area of knowledge. Unkura we are sim knowledge na ani nyansa nyina. Sometimes no, se enya akonya na Ghana for 8 year for. Omo kasa kire, omo complain ya. Ye no mo pay ye. Obi ndo wa wan kan wa asem. You just keep quiet and watch you feel.
Yeah.
After all, 4 years in this one. Or the democratic right.
Yeah. Obaka koto abedi etia. Obaka punish by voting against you. And then the paragraph so koto abama. Now otena fie no wan koto a. A form of punishment. So one to amount.
Some of them were saying, say, oh, nipa 2 million koto abama. And make us say, wow, did they really understand the ties of voting democracy? Protest vote is also voting.
Yeah, it's voting, yeah.
It one koto aba no kran watu
aba. Yes.
It's the same thing. Enti me onti me nka say nipa 2 million na koto aba. One koto aba no so ya abato. It's a protest vote. Na kokoto ye a dey na jezo beto ama. On bezo beto ama nti na wanko. On the metro Nigeria. And that's why we need to go into it and find out that over 2 million voters
na ankoto no.
Which particular demographics are they coming from? Which region are they coming from? Which constituency are they coming from? And what will be the reason why until Omu decide they say about Omato? They voted but through a protest. Hey, we need to find out about that. Now you won't quite remedy that situation. Then say you finish diagnoses our problems, dealing with our issues.
Now be a microphone, mommy. Yeah.
Now, Fino, Sebi, akoye say, individual parochial interests. I take it the precedence of the interest of the collective interest of the party. A hard JP, because Oshe enyuma another danko Akufo-Addo yeah. Now share defeated nya Marjorie nyekra.
Edian and what dream what was so from our GD say man kobasa.
I think say the man kobasa first of all offer your campaign team now. There was lack of coherence. Because Marjorie who produce a year on a year Jume. At the paper bia was on Emma or a deliver. But how former also won't go on why is it the best? Second campaign a year call. At the Bonnie Bia near Akufo-Addo in the bush for the man a buy. At the paper bia the candidate in a year. Oh yes, sir. You are not enriching the coherence and the unity of the party.
Sane Koso campaign.
Sane Koso. And clearly will be follow ABR no who says Sane Koso. When it comes to the failures of the government and the issues Ghanaians are complaining about it, you see our candidate and then vice president, only power. He is not in charge. He's just a maid. He's a driver on the seat. Who should be blamed? But other initiatives are very positive. You say your candidate in a year. Oh yes, sir. We share 2024 campaign. I share 2008 campaign. I'm when you share 2008 campaign. The way President Kufuor was running a campaign by itself. Aliu Mahama, Akufo-Addo and his team. It was a united something. And Marjorie, Obetima Kachem say President Kufuor era. I did BOE Biana Ghana for any jail. And I say idea be 100% right. No. But did you ever heard Akufo-Addo standing anywhere or any of Akufo-Addo communication team or campaign communication team always trying to exonerate Akufo-Addo and put all blames on President Akufo? Would he be there? No, it never happened. A collective success, collective failures. So there was a very serious problem with our campaign communication machinery. I don't know. Sebi na and talk Ghana for Sumie. Because yes, Ghana was but you are the vice president. Advise the president to solve whatever problems you are talking about. Why do you wait to become president before you help your boss to solve their problems? So the communication was not really sinking within the hearts and minds of Ghanaians because of the lack of coherence and the unity. And also, that we fail to take responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. In terms of
the external factors.
Mm.
Dollar near cost Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19. Inflation cost Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19. Galamsey, Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19. Every problem we saw Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19. And Ghanaians were getting fed up.
Okay.
Domestic debt exchange program, Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19.
One of the bad decisions that your government took.
But it was a bad decision then. But it was one of the requirements for the IMF deal. Then how I say you put up a defense for it.
Mm.
But now I say ye be mumu ama be marco face their own what music.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had domestic debt exchange program here, a creative fiscal space for John Mahama's government.
Or your president, I find the president, President Mahama,
President Mahama, His Excellency. A creative fiscal space for His Excellency John Mahama's government. And Deb says committed themselves to it. Now they have a fiscal space to what? Pay those debts. So it's a good thing. But in our administration, because then a compounded effect of so many disappointments, so many failures here and there. So this should be now take it crown. Ghanaians were not what to buy into it. The baby, people will not accept it. Bene is benefiting the NDC government. IMF Ghanaians didn't take it lightly because they thought you say you are better managers of the economy. You complain about the NDC. You complain about the NDC going to the IMF. Well, I didn't also call IMF. But now, IMF here with a 3 billion facility is also helping the NDC government. So there are a lot of decisions they take here. It was in the bad taste at that time because but the first 6 months of NDC government, it has seriously benefited them. The normal be brave, and the appointees too were also, some of them were very wicked, and some of them were very, very, very difficult dealing with because even their relationship with the media, was very bad. Their relationship with the grassroots of the party, their relationship with the Ghanaian people, as a power ni urayetrim. And Yakubu Mahama Bonfia to the point say, oh Mahama, the Ghana for better but than about ya born from.
Yeah.
And my create certain kind of complacency. Say Mahama the day Ghana for your day. And funny maybe. But when Ghanaians also compare the data, no more the Mahama time, it was $1 to 4 cedis. You make noise about it in opposition. Through press conferences, through press statements and press releases, you make noise about it. Ubenya Kenyano, and $1 net is under your watch. And to did that particular data no match with yours, you have failed. Because Nipana as well, you're incompetent. Of not Ojani saying wow, you're competent. You know the Akosi saying.
Yeah.
Inflation, the same thing. Ojani saying what you could do saying. IMF or call you also work with which conditions. So a normal be brave or normal. I condemn Mahama during his tenure, but under our tenure we couldn't get them right. We failed to manage those issues that they raised against Mahama's government, and Ghanaians were very, very, very disappointed. And these are some of the things that I think Ghanaians seriously registered their displeasure against us in the ballot.
Okay, now what did this say? You know, ɛte sɛ party no nyɛ suyahunu bi moving forward.
Of course, when yes you are better than Ghana for the waba back. And as I say, cry where you might because now no message bang and I'll bet my catch Ghana for a moment also say, oh, MPP say dear, we are coming with the right team, the right leadership, and the right sense of purpose. They're Ghana for penny by mom. So now where you might I need to rebrand and reposition ourselves. Say by Ghana for best GDA back in us as they have it in us after President Kufuor's era. It means about back in 2016. So there was so many work to do. So many work to do. We need to offer a very responsible opposition. We cannot behave the same way I behave prior to 2016 elections. Don't me? Because now, no, Mark Jerry. If you decide to attack Mahama on CD depreciation, all time modern
figure ben
modern ben.
It's a baby size and we yen.
Oh yeah, day. What you could do here now, become Mahama there. Oh, what did they make sure? So there are so many things. And that's why most people are calling for a change of leadership, especially when it comes to the flag bearership.
So
Exactly, which some of us we subscribe to it. But nevertheless, whatever the delegates of the party elect, all of us will support that person at the end of the day because after competition there should be a cooperation. There were
but for emphasis sake, what's it ususu say there should be a change of leadership.
Yeah.
In terms of Nipo Betu Franca Adiama party.
Yes, Nipo Betu Franca and even some of the national executives, regional executives. For me, if you are a regional chairman of a party, Nase, obey a regional chairman, maybe a particular region, you were about 11 seats, NDC were 1 seat. Under your watch, you see Abenya 1 seat, NDC Abenya 11 seat. My Jerry, what is it?
It is so free.
I mean, you'll be near so catch. You'll be near so catch. If you are a national organizer, before you elect you as a national organizer, you have how many seats in parliament? 137.
Yeah.
After being a national organizer, you're about 88. What was your mobilization strategies? And you might drop it sharply from 137 to 88. The young American backcatcher was a pre-national organizer. If you're a national chairman of the party, then now, yeah, Sebi. And to me, I'm boy, I'm a day. You be Lusukrana shouldn't be this kind of. There should be, there should be dignity.
Loose in a party.
Exactly. You be Lusukrana, it should be dignified. Osha 2016, Mama Lusu with 44.4, but NDC never had 88 seats in parliament. They were having about hundreds column.
Yeah.
Osha 2000 elections.
Because it's 169.
Yeah, against
against 275.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
they were above hundreds. Timama Lusu abysmally at the executive level. And crowd one drew 1 million gap. It was 900 and something thousand. By any across what 1 point something million. This is very serious. Osha 2000 elections, and Professor Mills was the first vice president or contested national election as a candidate. 2000 elections. You call how many rounds? Second round.
Second round, yeah.
And Mills was a vice president for only one term.
Yeah.
1996 to 2000. That time, 1996, Mills a bar into politics. But between on a President Kufuor, MPP has to form great alliance. And okra yeko second round sana NDC AJ Mato. But 2000 if the way omobre and sana NDC power every year. Nashe 2024 from. So would you compare the performance of Mills as a vice president, as a candidate, and against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as vice president, as a candidate? Professor Mills did better than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So, a normal be brave. What I say, if you're a
Now,
greater
what
Accra
about what my
regional chairman,
Uh-huh.
can you imagine greater
Yeah.
Accra regional?
Regional chairman.
Now
The
you
friend no I go home.
there were 3 seats. How? 3 seats. The whole greater Accra region. If you are in voter region, 0 seat. Oti 0 seat. But he's 0-0. Until you're regional chairman, I'm not making sure say you shouldn't put out yourself for contest again. No. All of you have to exit. Let us get a new leadership who are angry for power, who are very, very committed, and who think that they are fit for purpose and they can help us come back to power. And yet the old architecture and MIA are abysmal, you know. Now you're rebranding, re-strategies, and re-planning. You are going to use the same old people who caused you this massive defeat. It doesn't make sense to me.
Wow. Na yankwa na meka meti ofo say ye Dr. Razak Kojopoku or ye founding president of the ma UP Tradition Institute. Ono ne ye no AD Enkomoyin. Or ye member of the New Patriotic Party. On ye din komo na dwumre e would need 100.9. Say ni awu ken ene noama ahyase because mo party mo semba be yi frank etwini foforo. Ene no ama ekoso na what the toto dia wo ken ho a say na etema
Magjerry yakoye nipai na ye wo interest yi enye no manyina na be tima nya ne right, and I think say the recent National Council National Executive Committee meetings omoma yeti ase say ye be top bottom elections. For the first time, you be elected a flag bearer before you go for the other elections. But we need to ask ourselves, Tama NDC Lusu 2016.
yeah
They did adopt that approach. Some more top to down.
I say be I won't say there was
2008 2008 elections. Kwesi report never recommended some more top bottom.
And I make say one more be a one issue
Your report
might not be peculiar to momo there.
No.
More report may be a woman says
we haven't seen the report.
Yes.
They haven't make it public. So they can't tell us that is the case. Almost early presidential primaries.
Yes.
But man can say early top bottom
okay
elections. They never said that. And Oshe 2008 elections ye lose year. Now the total 2024 ye lose year. Now say Jerry 2008 after 2008 and SNK ye prayer say no the way anana do lose by 40,000 votes in there. Yankoye top bottom na yanko endorse Akufo-Addo because he's the surest bet. Obi will lose 40,000 plus 43,000 votes. Okay. Wako first round, second round, 10 round and sana Mahama Mills Edene show there. Oh, by 2000 I am called endorse Akufo-Addo and later let elect executives Akufo-Addo can work with them for the 2012 elections. I don't cry anyesa. Then you didn't show heavily. ASO take you time. Now putting the structures right. Okay? Replace all the inefficiencies at the base of the party. Get your polling station executives right. Your electoral area coordinators, your constituency, your regional and national. And before you think about the flag bearer. But right now, no, who could choose flag bearer? Okay? Supervised by the executives of my Edincho. Near we answer the eco elect to Oma. I mean, is it the best? Where is the precedence? Where is the precedence?
But sad
Where is the blueprint?
You want the first time
I
say your
say
president.
first time we are more. Now make sure say after 2008 election because Akufo-Addo Lusuba 40,000 votes difference. So clearly any contender or any competitor to Akufo-Addo should know say Obia will lose just 40,000 votes after third round here. We then Ghana for the door na then epen. Think yanko endorse later and I bet you see executives. We never did that. So why should we do this time around? You introduce such practices after you lose election in such a heavy defeat, both presidential and parliamentary. And also kwakweye way. Now okoye sadi we are. Now okay, my Jerry has been elected as a flag bearer. Now my Jerry so MPA mintimine partner. Executive way mintimine nye adwuma. No influence all those at the bottom. Democracy near practice and practice autocracy. Now, it drew national elections. Argument I'll make is as a flag bearer and executives obey no more year. It drew national elections. Now, I know executives in our Kotwaba. Near his obey to Mary near. Okay, no lawyer listening now feels only betting no year. Now, no more Kotwaba. Or more movies or more party members say you cannot work with them and they sit home. Do you think you can win the elections? I think say a decision a National Council are taking, but I may aduma on the 19th. You better delegates conference. I think that maybe in the wisdom of the delegates conference, they might decide to, overturn the decision of the National Council because that's the highest decision-making body of the party. After delegates conference, they be who say, are we still sticking to the top bottom or we are going back to the
but I say a big cancer at the end of the National Council are taking meeting when we take such decision idea data it is a presidential primaries in the Basono National Council for take here and no non-negotiable Sunday be argument and so
no you see more make it that argument perhaps more read the or more constitution well what kind of constitution under the presidential elections or say you were in opposition at 24 months to what elections. Exactly. As a elected what our candidate. You were in power 12 months to the national elections. Okay. And at the date, if you have the constitution, I don't have a copy.
Maybe I'm
or see the date, the venue and the date shall be determined by the National Council.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm coming. It has nothing to do with the 24 months or the 12 months. Okay. The date and the venue shall be determined by the National Council. And the National Council can even vary the date. Which date? Date now must set it for the delegates for the election of what? The presidential election. It has nothing to do with the 12 months or the 24 months. And there's a very serious legal tricky contention that somebody can just trigger for proper interpretation of that particular aspect of our constitution. Because I stated clearly, entrenched. 24 months when you are what? In opposition, 12 months when you are in government. But what satisfied that provision? Venue in the data a National Council and decided. But date in the venue now the National Council can vary. It has nothing to do with the 24 months or the 12 months provision. It's completely different.
Okay, National Council has a date.
And I make sure I said National Council has share dates.
Venue name I.
National Council dates and venue no match. It has to be inconsistent with the 24 months when you are in opposition, 12 months when you are in government. So let's say 12 months when you are in opposition, that may to fall on 7 December. But the National Council can say, okay, 6 December. Or 31st December. Or 1st December.
Still within
the 24
months.
Yanko any Takrade, Cape Coast, Upper East, Upper West. That's where the National Council comes in. But has nothing to do with the 24 months or 12 months they are uttering. Because the constitution is very clear. The date can be varied, okay, by the National Council. It's in relation to the venue. Has nothing to do with the 12 months or the 24 months. To on a very serious legal contention, someone can trigger that. Even if the National Delegates Conference decide to endorse the decision of the National Council of electing the candidate on the 31st January 2026. To be one kind. And people need to really understand the whole thing. It's not say National Council, no. But decide. They say date, 24 months, 12 months. Yeah, your power to change it.
And no, National Council.
The National Council doesn't have that mandate.
Yes, they don't have.
They don't have that. So 31st January 2026, Obi Opema can test the law and tell you that the National Council have no right under the Constitution to fix that date. The another Obi the 19th July. The delegate the BC afterwards. You be who they be follow. Whether people will test the law.
But see, 24 months and now 24 months, 31st January. Say, but was still 24 months. Then I'm here with it.
24 months, baby.
24 months, I'm opposition.
No. 24 months when we are in opposition.
Yes.
Okay. Opposition.
It shouldn't be less than 24 months too.
Within 24 months. Okay, within 24 months.
Within 24 months. Yes. Okay.
That's it's also legal no within, after, before, well, then you have to pay attention to those words. What is a Mark Jerry? So within 24 months, you free abamu dabe.
You free abamu dabe we here.
And yes, 6 months.
6 months.
Meboa. Yame ya adoma next year January 7. Na kufu adu free abamu yesen. Exactly 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Is it within 24 months? And yet 12 months. So arguments no more make it a free heifer. And even to the date of the national elections.
Yeah.
Okay, to the date of the national elections. Nyameya Adoma, to abandon last year December 7. This year December 7, 1 year.
Yeah.
So it means that next year December 7 is what? 2 years, 24 months. So the budget around, are you within the 24 months when you are in opposition?
Na say early Congress ebaswa emwa party early Congress because aya apedi ne ba kasa ekoso into okay fine this one trinity a suppose it says a conference in the crabbedia tomorrow one we tomorrow early Congress emwa party whoever I won't be fair enough after bibia the din na focus on the candidate
Bibia the din na ya na amanfo kan. Babia betima ye din but akoye sebi na twibrin no so aye den ase ne pacha. If the process is not seen as fair, transparent,
okay,
I will be a few say due process have been followed. They were Lusua Jiatum, they were winning. I try to extend hands of cooperation or collaboration and all that. Nekoba say pepe and see you flattered the law, we have set aside the law, we have set aside the due process of the law. Now sebi ye choose any candidate. I'm all for bebrebe to my din. But since the Boache Jako Kaino, in their heart, they have left the party.
Okay.
So what's he saying Namope? Okay, Monya na yenre. December 7, 2028, Ebedru. Ya no abe family free akoto abama. And people can decide to what? Go by that. So we need to do things. Everybody will be happy of the process. I elected what? The candidate. When everyone is happy with the process, now say you choose any candidate at the end of the day, everyone will be compelled to come on board, support the party, support the candidate, so that we face the NDC and wrestle power from them. But Ekobai said, certain segment ain't yet happy with the process, but a particular segment is happy with the process. Now Ekofivawa understand say you will never get the support and the genuine cooperation from the people now right from the word go, or more register their displeasure against the process. And this is common sense. So I think say in as much as say in our rebuilding process, we need to do things right. We need to look at the bigger picture. Let decision be a better kibia. No, say is in the interest of the party, not in the interest of any camp or in the interest of any candidate. It's in the interest of the party. say be on a day no a party in a some a vehicle. And as part of our mandate under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, we are supposed to sponsor presidential and parliamentary candidates. That is our responsibility under the law. So we need to make sure that any process that we are putting in place to elect our candidate presidential and parliamentary for national elections, a process the rank and file and the base of the party are unanimously are for it. And yes, you are exerting pressure and forcing down their throat. It will backfire and it will reflect the national elections. They won't go out and vote because you have superimposed a candidate on them. Through a process, they were not happy with it. And now I say, maybe there has been a precedent. A party could choke with this kind of magnitude.
Yeah, magnitude.
More use to top-bottom approach. The following election cycle, they were successful. Maybe globally, best practices. It has been done. Then you can say you have a benchmark or a blueprint you are following. But is that the case, Mark Jerry? Is that the case? The day now, sebi kwakwa na sene intekuma office o wiase mnyasa nyina. I mean, let's discuss the issue dispassionately without say sebi obi time obi ano obi in time obi. Because the existing album they elected our leadership. Yeah. We defeat Omodemaye. Now see I'm falling back on the same existing album. To elect the leader. Marjorie, 2020, what will be the outcome? Your defeat is going to be worse than what you recorded was in government. And now opposition, your strategy should be different when you are in government.
Yeah, that's Sunday and correct.
Because in government, anya hwe kra no betimi aka say why school, why you say, or the number the need two no maybe. By an opposition, are you in charge of the management of the public purse or the public resources of the country? Are they a bit more kind of say me A, B, C, and D? By an opposition, you wouldn't need any power to execute any project. And how I be conduct yourself, and how I be your Niema, and a Ghana for bones or no. His Excellency John Mahama government is failing, and the NDC MPP has rightly positioned themselves with the right set of people, the right set of team. And yes, I'm falling back on them. And sometimes the voter psychology, I say very well. We even need to carefully look at our membership, our executives. Oh, the way Boacheja Kokasakra Yemede. Yeah. Kwabreja Pon Kasa Yemede. Okay, we need to see how best, even through research, we can find out from the Ghanaian people which kind of personalities are Ghanaians Eshishe. And I say within our mess, Ghanaians love listening to them. And you see how best you'll be able to convince those people to come and lead your communication machinery for you. Obi wonoma pato ya boama ekasa eyenefe eyenede. Akomi ekasa eyenefe eyenede. Dabochu ekasa eyefe eyenede. We have solid men and team, but all of them have been sidelined. And MPP, as we know, is not the MPP now. So we need to do our things right. Ghana for no. Even when it comes to personalities and intellectual capacity, MPP ahead of the other parties. We need to bring those men and women at the forefront of our communication machinery, so that Ghanaians can know that Charlie, the men, the women have come back. Let's try these guys again. But Crofono Mudi campaign him, a communication him, to try young Piaki can say be a Ghana for any hono. You still want to use the same people and you want to get the same results. Are you serious? You are not serious.
One man, who interest will be more?
Of course.
Why?
Oh, my interest here, Dr. Brian Champon.
Dr. Brian Champon?
Yes, please.
And we declare next time. We declare say yes. And yes, say a good year or some bambe test the water so.
Oh, it's not
Oba.
It's not to test the water.
I didn't well, we prefer Dr. Brian Champon.
The entire me prefer Dr. Brian Champon. Yes, if I look through all the other candidates, not to downplay their competence, not to question their integrity and credibility or their track record. But I feel and I think that Dr. Brian Champon is well positioned if MPP, Yaya Adrian said, we will get the power back from the NDC. Because he's a candidate, if you look through all of them, he's a candidate, is coming from the two main strongholds of our party, Ashanti region and Eastern region. When was all my free Ashanti region?
Yeah.
And per our maternal inheritance, baby, I'm free now free, and I'm boy. Though
Yeah, traditionally.
Traditional, baby, I'm free now free. So he's coming from Ashanti region. That's one of the strongholds of our party, and also coming from the Eastern region, the father side, and where our the politics. So someone coming from the two dominant strongholds of our party, will be able to energize the two strongholds for the party, so that other regions never can have other advantage for us. And I'll share the data now. MPP, strictly speaking, need about 6 to 7 regions to win election in Ghana. But NDC need more than 12, 13 to win an election. Because for Ashanti region, the demographic, the population, it may try regions be brave.
And said in the instance, cry, yeah, 2 regions.
Yes.
Ashanti and Eastern.
It's 2008.
Yeah.
You would do to Tehran.
Yeah.
So this time around, say if the vote patterns in Ashanti region and Eastern region, yeah, the same way as in 2008. Though NDC could have beaten us in parliament, by executive no can be brepa. And actually, at 2020 election, we lost Greater Accra for the first time. And previously, your party now lose Greater Accra. It's difficult winning the presidency. We lost it, but we won the presidency with over 500,000 votes different.
Yeah.
Because it me energizing mass by our strength from the two main strongholds. So, Senyame Adom ni enya candidate obetima maximize the two strongholds for us. Ni etima ye adwumaden to get Bono back. Bono is back. Ahafo back. Western back. Trust me, 2028 will be a different ball game for the NDC. And Central region back. And people will come back to power easily.
And send the pan will be to my son, Dr. Brian.
Exactly. It's Dr. Brian Champon. And I'm a share on say MPP a FAPIM one of the constituencies over the years till now is the business community. And the offer business community now constituted by which people? Largely. I'm not saying other tribes don't do business, but largely it's constituted by which people? The Coast and Ashantis. So when you get somebody coming from that particular constituency, automatically you have gotten the support of the business community. They will come on board fully. And even intellectually, all the candidates, Sebi, Yemfa education and because a certificate in the Bobra, a few years and the Bobra.
Yeah.
Basha Brabo Brian Abu Anyamia Maninyansa, he's very successful in terms of entrepreneurship. Also in terms of academia, he's the most educated among them.
So could I 2 PhDs?
Yeah, I have a PhD in information systems,
yeah.
and a PhD in artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Obey 2027. He has 4 master's degree, or say a law. Obey October to be qualified as a lawyer. Tell me, all the candidates who is more educated than Brian Champon? Who come close? None. So in terms of intellectual capacity, none of them come close. In terms of entrepreneurship success, at that level, he'll be competing with Kennedy Japan because he's also an equally successful business person. So you are having a candidate, he can easily get the business community on your side because that particular constituency is made up of Ashantis and the Coast. It's coming from your 2 strongholds of the party.
Katri now Kobo PhD bears or Brofo
and the Eastern region. And that's it. Brofone does and one. And now they are not on China. Oshe Omunina no Omoni Swadi Hunwa.
Yeah.
He stands tall. Now, all the candidates, we don't know message or more can. They or more can say they want to lead the party. they can get the grassroots. They have the rich ideas. They have whatever ideas. But if you have a rich ideas and you had the opportunity of 8 years, that's our rich ideas, when to me, I'm found create jobs and employment for your own party people. Mark Jerry, we are aware. Your Uncle Bibra under MPP 8 years, they were living like they are in opposition.
And yeah.
Some of them were jobless throughout 8 years. Obi mo mutu chiroma mo mutu make question almost say nothing even shows that my party is in government. NDC for no poye day extra. So you have rich ideas for 8 years and you couldn't solve this particular problem. Now continue opposition as our rich ideas near the day. If you have all the rich ideas in the world, that went to me addressing the exchange rate. I'm the business community and your confidence in us to retain us in 2024. Addressing inflation, addressing all the indicators of the economy. Now, if you know rich ideas near the day, when you have power for 8 years, you could have used the rich ideas to turn things around and get the power in 2024. You couldn't do that. So, what is the essence of the rich ideas you are talking about? What is the essence of it? Putting into practice under 8 years, there was no results. To convince Ghanaian to retain us. So rich ideas, and I say when you new rich ideas. Theocracy, you better hold them at the right time. But Dr. Abraham Champon, coming to the good people of Ghana and the delegates of the party with 3 main strong pillars. One of them is the development in freedom policy. It's one of the first pillars Dr. Abraham Champon had age now. So, and Magdalene aware say the motto of the New Patriotic Party is development in freedom.
In freedom, yeah.
And when you chairman from Professor Dubois to John Ajay Kumkufo to Nana Akufo-Addo to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, none of our candidates has been able to craft a policy around the development in freedom, which is the motto of the New Patriotic Party. I stand to be corrected. Have you ever heard any of our candidates from Professor Dubois to Akufo, to Akufo-Addo, to Bawumia, you crafting a policy around or in consonance with our motto development in freedom? None of them have been able to do that. And that's a serious gap Dr. Brian Champon has identified.
But also when it comes to development, you'll be obe prema.
Our motto is deep. The development in freedom. Ubo will say 3 words, but it's very deep. So for what now say the reason why I can't say development in freedom, you really understand why they choose development in freedom and not any other motto. And offer development in freedom now, you are talking about economic and financial freedom, political freedom, social freedom, the fundamental human rights, the media freedom, the judicial freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the right environment the investors and the private sector are flourishing under any government. Okay, Ghana Nibia Timenya Juma Eye not necessarily tied to any political party. People can express their views without being victimized. The media can criticize the government without being witch hunted. All these are provisions under the development in freedom motto of the New Patriotic Party. And offer development in freedom as our motto is also in sync with Article 35, the economic the political objectives of the country. Article 36, economic objectives of the country. Article 37, social objectives. 38, economic objectives, and cultural objectives, and international relations objectives. It's seriously in sync with our motto. And also, Chapter 5, Chapter 12 of the 1992 Constitution. All of them are embedded in our motto, development and freedom. It is in a way a man has satisfied all these provisions under the Constitution. After 8 years, Ghanaian will tell us to go and sit home. And the second pillar that Dr. Brian Champon is very passionate about, being a businessman, being a successful entrepreneur, and so making sure you satisfy your constituency. That's a business community. So he believes that this is the right time. We need to ensure, all our economic policies, will satisfy Article 36 of the 1992 Constitution. Economic objectives of the country. I don't know if you have a copy. My copy. The Constitution.
Oh, okay, 1992 Constitution.
Yes, please.
Okay, you mean Article
36.
Article 36?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get it for you here. Well, soft copy no. Now, was it Article 36? No, no.
So Brian Champon
Uh-huh.
is looking at the second pillar, no, the Benya friendly business environment for the private sector and investors, which is seriously in alignment with economic objectives of the country. I are stating it clearly. It's enshrined in the Constitution, specifically Article 36, 2B and C of the 1992 Constitution. So if you can read that portion.
Yeah, because I offer Article 36 now. 36, 2 B and C.
So, but start from the
preamble,
no, from the 2, no.
From the 2, no.
Yeah.
Okay, or say economic objectives.
Of the
And then Article 36.
Exactly. So go to the 2.
2. The state shall, in particular, take all necessary steps to establish a sound and healthy economy, whose underlying principles shall include B and C.
Yeah, B and C.
B and C, affording ample opportunity for individual initiative and creativity in economic activities and fostering an enabling environment for a pronounced role of the private sector in the economy. Let's see, ensuring that individuals and the private sector bear their fair share of the social and national responsibilities, including responsibilities to contribute to the overall development of the country.
Yeah.
It's the one I was saying the focus on this.
Exactly.
The
That's the
pillars.
second pillar. Say a creative, friendly business environment for the private sector and investors. Yeah, in alignment with what you just read. And Osha emphasis in a sound and what healthy economy. Men you sure saying MPP, ya ba baimui, especially the last 4 years, any team ensure sound and healthy economy. There's no way the NDC will have beaten us the way they beat us. There's no way. We are sure say prior to 2024 elections, any domestic debt exchange program,
Yeah.
call IMF, there's no issues of galamsey. Inflation is on point. Exchange rate is on point. Our debt to GDP ratio is on point. Investors are happy. Private sectors are happy. Do you think NDC BT? Do you think say inflation in 2016, 16 point something percent, right? After 8 years, and I'm getting the bar and maintain a single digit or even at 10% or 12%. Message Ben and Kamama message Ben. Do you think say exchange rate you better $1 to 4 cedis after our 8 years in 2024 and a $1 4 cedis or even lesser or even $1 5 cedis do you think say Kamama beti me abuye the way oboye?
So
we failed when it comes to ensuring sound and healthy economy.
Share a bra.
And until Ghana for Gina so a punish. So we need a candidate I will bet him restore that confidence back of ensuring say the bet me achieve sound and healthy economy. And we need to open a fresh chapter. You can't let people who lead us into having a situation to achieve a sound and healthy economy to still lead us and get a different results. It's going to be difficult, extremely difficult task, unless Mahama government is Filipoto and a bit my open window for you to sneak in. But say Mahama perform well, and all of us we don't need to pray for Mahama to fail, even though we are in a political party competition. You know, a citizen or failure be affected. But we need to make sure say a candidate, even if Mahama perform, the candidate will come out with an alternative policy which are superior than what NDC are practicing. And Mark Jerry, you can bring back the managers of the economy who failed us, make us experience this worst defeat, and repackage them and bring them to come and do what? To be difficult.
What's a year president? Time over 80 MPs. Eka say one constituencies. I'm of work I said no man to change the finance minister. Yet president no when fees are called no. Also okasa mo earlier okay bibi say enipa ni bi e de sobo no asay ya no de akwa kwhye eye Akufo-Addo. Don't you think say ono no ma ho kwanti na wo mo de sobo no she? Because they are working.
I make sure say
yeah.
Nana the Danko Akufo-Addo is not 100% right and on 100% wrong. What did they make sure? And the leader be the wa ubenya 100% efficiency. You are not God. Angels doesn't even have that kind of score. How much more you a human being? And you also need to understand, sir, within the period that Ken Ofori-Atta was a Minister of Finance, Oshe the first 4 years, Mark Jerry, Oshe the record, he was far better than Sektepe. And Omar Bejin in the second term. Okay? And I think that the president should have heeded to the call. It could be one of the contributing factors, but it's not the ultimate factor. And MIA lose the way we lost. No, you can't say Ghana for Etuabetia because Ken Ofori-Atta was still at post as a Minister of Finance. That could not be the only ultimate reason. It could be one of them.
Yeah, because also economy play major role. No?
Economy play major role. Okay? It play major role. But you understand, say economy is run by what? On two legs. Fiscal policy, monetary policy. The Minister of Finance is in charge of fiscal policy. The BOG is in charge of what? Monetary policy. The other monetary policy, so work about the one in charge of fiscal policy. The same way ultimate for fiscal policy, they in charge, so work about in charge of monetary policy. And the coordinating center was what? The economic management team. Coordinating the efforts of fiscal policy and monetary policy. Did they do their job right? Were they listening by the government? If they were not listening by the government, how come they didn't resign? To show to Ghana and the party people that the president is refusing to listen to us. So we have laid down our tools. But he kept hanging in there. You also have to blame yourself. Of course.
But cabinet decision,
OTA, and management. Emma won't you the way I saw you were Juma. Now they oh dear snipping, no I bet now. Are you hurting yourself or you are hurting the management? Listeners, no, the who come so munim. The management do for more listeners or munim.
Yeah, but decisions we will have to take care of them say to me. Because show when it comes to
so mean dear. We need to practice some of the principles of the white guys. If you are working with the government, you are working in an environment, now feel say you are not being listened to. You are not being respected by your input. You have every right to resign. You have every right to resign. Don't be in there, suffer, okay, for whatever is going on. Majority of them make sure you have every reason to resign. How can none of them resign? That means they were happy with the president. And you want me because Akufo-Addo na so de no ka wontie. You resign from the cabinet. You resign from the government. In Kenya, William Ruto, One Kenyatta, they were not agree on cabinet. They were disagreeing on so many issues. Didn't they run against each other's party?
Yeah.
So president idea when
but for instance, when code of ethics a year President Mahama Ediaba. So we should portion be a casse.
One mama can the third pillar of Dr. Brown.
Okay, can we?
So when I'm done, you can come to that. So The third pillar will be advancing the economic ecosystem of Ghana. Because now, not sure. Say African capitalism. What African capitalism?
African capitalism. I didn't remember.
Yeah, African capitalism a new principle. I think people are leading to see how best you better attract investors, both indigenous and the foreign ones. Now you invest into the various economies across African countries and giving 100% attention to the private sector. So as part of the third pillars of Dr. Brian Champon, is going to pay serious attention to that particular philosophy of African capitalism, of ensuring creative jobs and wealth through that particular policy. Now, things no sure now every economy is driven by technology. Now, you will have best with his background in artificial intelligence, computer science, information system. You will have best leverage on technology to drive across all the sectors of the economy. So that is basically the three strong pillars that Dr. Brian Champon is standing on. But there are several pillars at the right time we will share with the public as the times unfold.
These are the pillars I would say. These
are the pillars we believe strongly say a bit mama Ghanaians asimia confidence in the MPP back. Okay. Now so no say business community no say nya back. You need to present a candidate they can identify with the person in terms of practicality.
Yeah.
Nipa na ono no te se wo mo wo adwuma ni mu no ono so ye bi wada constituency no. You need to present such a candidate that what attracted the business community no. The way I normally a backbone no. And also get a candidate the academia, the intellectual constituency will also see him as one of them. They'll be able to come on board fully. Now, yet me energize the base of the party, especially the two strongholds of our party, and focus on the other pro MPP regions. Now, I am competitive, well positioned for power in 2028.
Okay. Yensha a analogy, but answer me kohono. Na mi bisa say, we share JDM, the code of ethics, you know. Okay, Bibi says so if you disagree with cabinet decision, and this all about Babeka. Immediately about publicly about Becano, it tells you say where you are free na bem. Our code of ethics anymore. So it tells you say cabinet decision you're collective. So obi disagree nipa no ede na obeye because ono no Babeka ebegu na ban hufi. So with the case of vice president, former vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia,
but it was not specifically referred to him, but all the cabinet members.
All
so
cabinet members. Okay, fine.
But I'm
all
saying
cabinet members.
As you rightly stated, Mahama said, if you disagree,
yes,
about publicly, Ebeka automatically.
We're free. Yeah.
But Musa will say, those our cabinet members are publicly they disagree with Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo decisions. Created an impression say Akufo-Addo is not agreeing to some of their suggestions at cabinet. It's making their work difficult. Publicly, they said that. Did they resign? If you are using Mahama Code of Ethics as a benchmark, the moment they did that, they should have opted out. But they kept in. I think you can't put all the blame on Akufo-Addo. And as much as and Oma be brave or Oma Akufo-Addo but doesn't mean Akufo-Addo was completely failure. And most of the times, even from the NDC, you cannot specifically criticize some of the legacy projects that Akufo-Addo did. Maybe you can question his character.
Yeah.
Or share all the examples of society are ordering chiefs about. But you ultimately can say Akufo-Addo was corrupt.
But say
no. He as a person he as a person
And how to honor
is one of the few presidents
because there were
but is one of the few presidents for 8 years. He as a person on say no producer engage in corruption, but your producer can engage in corruption without you, and people can blame you for allowing your producer to engage in corruption without you being necessarily corrupt. NDC can never stand anywhere and say that Akufo-Addo 8 years as a president was corrupt. They can never say that.
So you mean Akufo-Addo in person?
They can never say that. You can say his government or some of his elements, but he as a person.
So
I'm saying that he
corrupt cases. What president?
It's like your wife is going wayward. We can blame you, okay? Or your children going wayward. We can blame you.
Yeah.
But we won't say that Mark Jerry is going wayward.
The son of Akufo-Addo so far.
So that is it. So that's why I'm saying that even all the various allegations that Akufo-Addo untimi attacking personally that 8 years of his government, he himself was corrupt. You cannot. The only thing you will say that he was ordering cheese about, he said that or that. That is character-wise. But in terms of competence and performance, Akufo-Addo did very well. If you take the 2025 budget of the NDC, it's dominated by Akufo-Addo policies. Because you can say free SHS, you are continuing. When did they buy?
Oh, na say they are buying a year.
No, yes, I buy. It wasn't there. Akufo-Addo introduced it. All the allowances all the allowances
one more kind.
They buy
JPM kind.
Or kind of progressive or progress.
But progress crossing and not was here.
That's what I'm saying.
Into about Babetwaso.
Babetwaso man adie na wotwaso. Akufo-Addo initiative na wotwaso. It is in your budget. Also be amended the MEF Act so that 80% of that revenue you are channeling into infrastructure project and your big push. One of the MEF by is Akufo-Addo. So whatever achievement that Mahama will do under big push and infrastructure project is through Akufo-Addo creation of MEF. Okay? Allowances are all Mahama time. His Excellency. Uchu came, Akufo-Addo restore, or buy, you are compared to continue. And several other things. IMFD, for instance. The last State of Nation address, Honorable Kofi Amwabua said Akufo-Addo should be described as the worst president ever. And the reason why I Okasa said Akufo-Addo started with IMF, Akufo-Addo has ended with IMF. I say, my goodness. Say Obama Becker say, gracious me. Mahama ended with IMF 2015-2016. Mahama has started with IMF or inherited from Akufo-Addo. Okay, 2015-2026. Magari difference being what is the difference? So, and even when we look at the quantum of the money Akufo-Addo was able to negotiate, $3 billion. Mahama time was it even close to $1 billion?
And it depends. The scope.
So Akufo-Addo has left, but seriously speaking. And normal beble blueprint bebre honoma why Mahama is benefiting from it. Let's even take about infrastructure project, various interchanges. Tell me one president since the Fourth Republic. Why a lot of interchanges that Akufo-Addo's government.
Yes, I agree. Kofi said they debatable because and I'm saying debatable because I say Parliament 16th November 2016 and a Parliament a G loan to Muse Yabeyo Pokuasi interchange 16th November 2016 Obasane abandoned by no in fact the abandoned by so also best sign
Sebi
and of
Metiway ABA Marco contract loan to build a house for me I sign that contract, okay? Man sit down and me woo and I'm a man. I'll go back to the contract, review it, get value for money, and they have put up the structure and the facility. Me grieve, I'm starting to me see than what be that.
And say you'll be any swadi.
So
but
Akufo-Addo,
a buying
listen,
Sasane.
Akufo-Addo did tremendously well. No maybe na uncle ye. And we didn't know how to communicate. To be honest with you, we didn't know how to communicate. Because when you take our first term in government from 2001, 2008, look at all the achievement. Okay?
I'm a bender for time.
Yes, please. Now the Beto Akufo-Addo 2017, 2024. You could see clearly Akufo-Addo did very well in several areas of the economy than even our first government. But how come say first time election yetimi koya to terra, but this time around, in spite of all the achievement, first round I boy from both presidential and executive. That means there's something fundamentally wrong that we need to get to the bottom of it. Because achievement they do win election, should have lost the election. And then Kilusu shouldn't be that magnitude. Shouldn't be that magnitude.
And say no catch now the Ghanaian voter no shushe. And also catch now.
Sure say the Ghanaian voter no. Ojina normal be brave so netwaba. Ojina normal so be brave netwaba. Obi wo ho normal even hu ahi kura nti no obeto aba atia party. What did they make sure? Hu ahi nti kura obeto aba atia party. And on say enoma bebre no entwaye ba bebre ehun embo charge aku issue a statement then say people have already
a free party
forced the party. Yeah. We didn't take it seriously.
But no one can no atum what any baby din.
So we need to seriously see how best for divorcing the party in their heart. We should not repeat those mistakes and send deep in our woes. We shouldn't do that. Oh, so your party need here. Your party, in fact, ye jina brand. And then this for now Sunim say when it comes to the management of the country now, MPP, and boy a home or pa. Because Oshe Meos Mahama or my administration now, the best inflation digit Omunya was 8.3%.
So a single digit.
8.3%. But do you know, say, Akufo-Addo, etiminya single digit inflation back to back from 2017, 2018, 2019.
Akwana na indicators near good.
But you know what? So that is what I'm saying. Say, we didn't communicate properly, and even the 54% inflation that they talk about, it was a monthly inflation. It was not a yearly inflation. By the end of that year, inflation was around 20 point something %.
Yeah.
But do you know, say, NDC, PNDC, NDC, am I a yearly inflation of 122%?
Oh, and that's 56%,
59%, 54%, 43%. MPP has never got into that before as yearly inflation record.
But say if you the equity, indicators are you. What's our can be economy?
I feel no more shares here.
Sir,
I feel no more shares here. Yeah, share baby we are not saying say they should fail. We are praying for them to do well. But the next MPP government will seriously do well better than them. So then Mahama buying by the end of 4 years is excellency. Eddie city no age now 12 cities or 10 cities. The next MPP government will bring it down further. Inflation Mahama Dibeja and his excellency in 2028. The candidate that we are presenting by the next 4 years of our government from 2029, 2032, we will bring it down further because we are going to do better than whatever Mahama performance will be. And this is something that we need to seriously put ourselves into it and make sure say you be elected candidate Ghana for na ye den epe enye the party ne pe enye the party for executives be pe and now certain parochial interest be pe is about what Ghanaians want, what Ghanaians want should be delivered to them.
Dynamics na say nipa de buy one term but na Ghana for to Obama no na wakwa president wa party mo historically no sanity obi no oba ya one time no pa no oko enti any argument na mo crofo ni be especially those from Dr. Baumia camp one more can Dr. Baumia yes nipa no Nana Akufo-Addo how many times has be president Elma Beda Akufo how many times Professor Mills how many times has be president JDM be president
JDM first attempt at the presidency
and quite they say a beton
as acting the first time our contest as a presidential candidate on the taking of the NDC in 2012 he won
then your goodwill of
which goodwill he won which goodwill two because will be winning election first time attempt. The historical data doesn't support that.
It doesn't support, but we should also
because
forget. Say JDM, a president, a caretaker president.
Which caretaker acting? You could have voted out. Okay, now 2016 year Tuti are not president.
No a president.
Ni 20 year.
It's not Dr. Baumia say. Dr. Baumia
so kase.
Handing over the you be a contest you be.
They say, kase. Professor Dubois stood against Rawlings. Rawlings and their power my role Professor Dubois.
There be other microphone.
His argument they free him. They free him.
Oba say before contested Rawlings
they
in
say,
so.
Who use that analogy say obi or contest obi
Sana Dr. Baumia is.
I won't mention names. I want
okay.
to deal with personality. I want to deal with the issues. Okase Obia or contest will be hand their power to him. Did Rawlings hand the power to Professor Dubois? Okase Obia who our contest first attempt and won elections under the fourth Republican Constitution. 1982 was the first time Rawlings contested election as a civilian candidate. He won the election. Mahama in 2012 was the first time he contested, he won the election. So that argument is flat. Falling flat. Has no basis. And another thing they also need to understand is DNT let's say Professor Dubois, or one term.
Yeah.
One call.
Yeah.
So that argument also has no basis. Okay? Over President Kufua. You see, they don't have to compare our defeat in government against our defeat in opposition. You will make a big mistake. 1996, MPP didn't hear Bayamo. You be in opposition. We were in the wilderness. Okay? To me, in fact, those defeat data. And we compare defeat now we are bang. Who compare data analysis for who government defeated against another government defeated wenya. So you want to be fair to data analysis as an unbiased intellectual. What you do is that you compare the 2024 defeat data against the 2008 defeat data of the MPP. You compare the defeat data of Jomama in 2016 against the defeat data of Professor Mills in 2000. That is how you do analysis. You don't compare defeat data was in government against defeat data was in opposition. A mismatch. No highly intellectual person will do that kind of bogus analysis. What did they make sure? So, defeat in 2004, you were in government. 1996, you were in opposition. How do you compare such data? You compare 2008 and now after 8 years. Unya results is saying another 8 years results is saying that unya no compare the two. If NDC want to compare their data in terms of defeat, they need to use 2016 against 2000. That is how you do analysis. Tube Isu Mahmoud Baumia 2024 against Edubuahe 1982 who experience any power in government. You have been under military rule for 11 years. Who experience any power? You can't compare that. What kind of analysis is that? I don't want to school them and I want your proper research and data analysis. You can't compare that to 1996. You were in opposition. And also, you also need to find out, say, all our leaders, one year man unopposed. Edubuahe unopposed for 96. Everyone was subjected to contest.
Yeah.
So let Dr. Mahmoud Baumia also be subjected to contest. If in the wisdom of the delegates, they think that he's still the best bet, all of us will support him. But don't create an impression, say, Obi be contesting a young Fonsone Bonibia Waya de. But historically, none of our leaders has gone unopposed. 2008 elections, your first round, second round, third round, lost by a margin of 43,000 votes. 2010, Kufuor to do 18 Benya Kugodro catcher say, will lose by a margin of 40,000 to 43,000 votes. The man go unopposed. He was subjected to contest in 2010. To lose by 1.something million votes with 88 seats in parliament. Was the man go unopposed? Mo be on contest. I say we are to what to be that? Does it even make sense to you, Mark Jerry? It doesn't make sense.
Democratically in there, say,
it doesn't make sense completely because there's no antecedent or precedent that say your candidate be unopposed. So the contest has to come on, and all the leaders of the party, from Dr. Brian Champon, Kabne Japon, Patria Buama, who else? Honorable Kennedy Japon.
Yeah, Kennedy Japon.
All of them have every democratic right under the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and the MPP Constitution to contest for the flag of the party. And they are not doing anything wrong. And they are not backstabbing anyone. That is their right. And that is democratic process. And no chance will be contest who are your enemy. And as I do agree free for the buy. No. And Sebi. Mark Jerry. If you look at Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, Yeshe party, no first national organizer of the party. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. He was the chairman of the organizing committee of the party.
Okay, yeah, chairman of the organizing committee.
And subsequently, the national organizer of the party, doubling as a campaign manager for Professor Dubois. Say what do Moja to what Bram and New Patriotic Party are Akufo-Addo? Also what Bram and PPR, what Brechen Akufo-Addo?
So what be the area?
Eba or no crano, the process of a man son or be the president. Now our contribution to say Akufo-Addo as of Father Fala. What be that? In Rollins time, military time, culture of no silence, Dubois, one man standing. Okay? Or no father for a belly deep party. What brechen Professor Dubois, as far as MPP tradition is concerned, what brechen? Tama now culture of silence or fighting now or him. Maybe you were in the classroom. Or no Kremaneko one term. President Kufuor serving under Buzia right through to the process of uneasy. So your party need here, and your party as a beacon of democracy. We let people have the opportunity to contest, express themselves, and all that. You don't hijack the party for any person. No, the party doesn't serve any personal interest. It's about the collective interest of the party. And everybody within the party will qualify under the law to contest for the presidency, to contest for the flag bearership, has every right to contest. All contestants on chair say, Sebi. Were you betrayer and now were you enemy to whoever? No. It shouldn't be taken from that perspective. No. All that we are doing, we are trying to use it to energize the base of the party. And a candidate we share we koha, we call radio, we call TV, we you say just to get a Buama party near them, and you energize. We are our ability to harness all these people, put them together against the NDC, no. And only baby a Jumane one. Now, me babe contest say now while they be say me enemy to establishment.
Yeah.
Okay. Who create an impression say me so we pa born in there be kura mad. Na ye kwato abani we na wi ababa ka cha say me followers e mebo.
Dr. Brandon Champion.
We have to be very serious as a political party.
Oh yeah, Minister of State. It will be argued so he was part of the government. And for that matter, say failures because what? No, can we because obey a great minister.
For how many years?
Basically, yeah, but if my memory serves me right, 2 years.
Okay, 2 out of 8 years. 6 years, no way.
A year to obey a part.
So, we compare in 2 years. To be a worker 8 years as a cabinet member, and will be a worker 2 years as a cabinet member. Now, per se, will judge you more the same thing. Are you being fair?
It's on you to first of all, money, baby.
No, are you being fair?
But you a part.
I'm saying that. Well, now you're 8 years of the administration, cabinet member. Maybe joining for 2 years. And to 2 years now, maybe joining. Who pays 8 years now? Me know you know bo pepe. I mean, is it fair?
So be better, sir.
No, you can't say that. It's not fair to even make that judgment or determination. And also, all cabinet members were given a responsibility to discharge.
Yeah.
So, as Obuse Nipane said, the responsibilities are demand for 8 years, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years. Dear no, the year. Then we can go into it and discuss it and debate it. What did they make sure? No? And that's how the narrative should be. The Ubia no cabinet, Ubia no Ubia where Juma president they share the 2 years in the end of the year. If you have any issues, any doubt about his performance as a great minister for 2 years, you can raise it up. Then we'll discuss it. But don't say will be I joined 8 years as a cabinet member. I'll be 2 years as a cabinet member. So I'm summing all of them together. No, you can't do that. 2
years in the Grand said in order to be fair, no, and drew 2 years.
And drew 2 years. So why?
It was February 7th, 2023.
To when? Ye to abe ye kwato aba. They are na abe. After ye to abe wedding, you say they na abe. Transition period. What can you do? So I think that people should look at the bigger picture. May sometimes, what I believe in is let's debate based on facts. Okay, take their personalities out. Let's debate on facts.
Okay.
On data. Now you who say yeah proper analysis. Because I catch them say 1992, 96. Ube Yusu a defeat data in opposition against a defeat data in government. To me, right from the onset, I know say school now acquired. There's a serious problem. One can say data analysis matching. I say completely mismatch analysis. But I say your core delegates conference, we can go into some of these data discussions and data argument people are putting forward.
It is a Kobase 31st January, no, a one primary senator.
So looking at the MPP constitution.
Constitution,
go to the presidential election.
Because yes, presidential. I don't know. Article I think 13.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, Article 13. Election of the presidential candidate. Yeah,
I think I call it a part one.
I'm sure. What
the National Council, where the 24 months, the 12 months.
Oh, and no crown there. Article 13 now 1.
Yeah.
Or say the election of the party's presidential candidate shall be held not later than 24 months from the date of the national election. The date and venue for the election shall be decided by the National Council, provided, however, that the National Council may, on appropriate occasion, vary the date.
So the date is in connection to what? The venue. Is it
Yeah.
connected to the 24 months or the 12 months? No.
It's not connected to
It's not connected to. So, and I'm going to say, after delegates conference, somebody can trigger that aspect. To let the National Council know that they have the power to decide the venue and the date. They have the power to vary the date. They call a conference.
Yeah, because social Hana.
But they have no power
To determine
to change the 24 months when you are in opposition, 12 months when you are in government. They don't have power in respect to that particular aspect of that provision in the Constitution. But you call delegates conference, we will see what will be the next steps if people feel say they are still not satisfied with the.
Say, but the same moment, I believe some problem here. But say, date na in terms of campaigning, because we will go around, we will meet delegates. They say no expansion kakra beba. Said the
expansion now, how do you expand?
Said the proposal.
What proposal?
Yeah.
Okay. And omo honom no. Omo tenure and so
yeah.
Okay. Also could add 2 people.
Yeah.
When would their mandate start and when would their mandate end?
A terminus. Wait.
You see, sometimes no, who take decisions Tina, yes say oba kwa edwa no ocha no siesie no. Tina okwa infie ana okokota. A matter be office is so simple that judge can use 2 days or 3 days to make a determination. I don't know, more than 6 months, 1 year. You need to do proper thinking. Okay? Consider all options and consequences of the law before you arrive at a conclusion and yet contentious or inconsistent with the law. The idea no more it was a knee-jerk reaction. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Seriously speaking.
All right, how you need 100.9. In fact, you're one-on-one with Razak Kojo-Poku, PhD, Dr. Razak Kojo-Poku, or your founding president at the UP Tradition Institute, or a member of the MPP, Chris Nene. Also, Jerry, in fact, this man is making sense. But the English is too much. Thank you. And glad they drawn attention. And try God. Walato liati lighty. But it's funny how MPP communicators always feel like they are wiser than any other Ghanaian citizen. We can't blame Akufo-Addo for the corruption that happened under his watch as a president, but we can blame John Mahama for everything that happens in his government. Shameless people. Where you try God Walato lighty on the Facebook Live. Albert Baby. Where they baby? Anyway. SK Frimpong Abroko said this baby guy is just fair in complexion. Nothing better. When so say okay. Anyway, Meko Matthew for na many material for Kasakakra and Koma Yedin extensively from the MPP through a year the current administration in Roma Ekoso. MPP presidential primaries and matters arising. So officially, candidates they declare and no and ye don't come. 030 225790 030225790 03022 43540 0302243 Mamejo wajo nchire enwumre ye. Memwajo
Champion Martin.
Yes, I hear you.
And you mean I'm also being count.
And council.
Where was Nana Amokuni? Mamichi, I mean, about other address with you, and I'm incoming constituency organizer for Kakwe Sector near Yula, the kind of one. na memo aye razak ko to abasa papa and then wakasa ma asoka nyina asoma akoma fa hu sha pa ye oni before your part the best say your part and then let me say about what the you take vote na minimum say na you empty you want lawyers who and then for that is given back a plan once and also to what to almost but one at the apple let's say the part everything the majority I get principle that is now part of the majority and you part of both parts is I get your word as just what you want now tell you and share ma amount for your police station about to your king and I don't some crop to crop yes yeah two presidents are very what you can say and I did a whole after last year you put on it's a very best what is I go say I will say other than that chairman the job with the Nisa you know Mr. Chairman police you want so the big just Mr. Chairman na ko ti abai na se ma party because they shouldn't limit in the other party now obe na chairman adabua obe na chairman na gane ma fu ko am party ni toro anko the best be with the fairness election ko anya fair the election is fair if people lose the who so election na ko ya obi ahead of the no only person will be election here the sir party
okay Medan say, Mammy from my joy.
If I saw a Joso boss.
Yes, I eat you.
Yo, Kwame, I don't go at me because I free adenta. The mark, and you bring young coupon show on a producers or Mutawachi and a guest on in our studio. Now, in Fitiasiano, Eba and Finfin, and say, Mr. Opoku Kasa, Kama, Anna, Uncle Pese. O pinpointed and now we problems ne and yama MPP for mo yeah anko ye ama enu nti na mo kukudie no na mo o bewie no o ka nsem bi a ayese o san echo defended party no but meanwhile no
that's how your party bow na our party ni it na bezo
our party ni na make say hi metenate Nanka ifiti ase bedu mfimfin no okasa ma ye nije kama ana all yi nyama bi a anko yi a enu ntina ema ye tuti a MPP for amo awiye yi oba be kasa na nado enye corrupt ni ade fine ye nka se na nado ye corrupt na mo suban ni nyama bi e course Mr. Mark ye hwe se emre a ye by elections na presidential flag bearers flag bearer hwe tika almost say no bright almost aye ya papa ba wo miane na na do mo side by then no more power nti na tika wo mo sem ya hwe tika almost fiegu say no na oye niama we power keka yeyi odikani na o hwe tika to bu say na o ka chem say onye corrupt hefa na minji wondi. So, MPP party are you say anka almost conservative, almost democracy as any mambo good governance as no. MPP party no dey say no abeg Ghana for town.
Okay.
Ghana for say.
All right, Medan say Beba Chomajo.
Good evening, Honorable Majari.
Yes, you.
Me pacho your friend bright and because I free abu so kai.
Mhm.
And then you may nyame insure papa. Uye juma so e de boa o man Ghana. O man Ghana ben tumpon. Na yankopon bo mo de ansa obi hira. Na uso wetina boa o mo ni.
Amen.
Me chia honorable Ashimo follow no road regional chairman baby obia yankopon kapapa no honorable Alaji Okondo michiana na nyume oye ni papa na yankopon ankoso ambo no bai honorable Peter Chief anka MPP assembly anka enfa NDC anka yenkebi bayi na ye o mindful kwa dia ye ti o manga na mu de ese ye kambi MPP anka sano na nado ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia mama MPP enya kono bio
the choir or more faso, I change or more per se, or did Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, as I share MPP for con. I then a delegate, there were moon two or mutu apa, and as a moon you constituency away executive, and as a police station executive, area. Moon ye constituency executive area. Moon ye national executive area. And so Musi Mukako too. Obia obey demo. I a candidate. Mupese Mudibama Muduba bre MPP 4. By MPP 4 dear. In himself 2024 Ghana 4 echo to Abano. Omuma Dr. Mahmoud Bamia 38%. Our good party minimum support. And here this the trend say Mubesa now about 2028. Not Ghana 4 up to about 28% because on one casano or Babemoa or be promising Ghana for so no now economic guru or Babe CC economy no our Babe $2 the my IGP and your money now can and I'm MPP 4 Ghana 4 to about the tier or more opposition. Yeah, bon paye e de mai sare si John Dramani mama.
Okay.
Ni ono abo atu force mu. Se mo de bo mu bo no because abo mo de na dollar na agina bebi agina na mi ma koyi e de ama o man Ghana mi da.
Meda se na wo so de ade aba. Be ba cho majo. Majo e. Okay, man for free. Be ba cho me majo.
Majo.
Yes sir, you too.
What you maybe our community or chow.
Yo.
I'm a mentor, honorable Jombodi. Tell you more born in the Mukana Jima or Mania Jipa. And the Jombodu party name now chum. Ubaba Bedi Natural Chama. Yamepa. Now, Mbessasre. Say party no. Yapekuye. Young hair casta ye. Young Kakasam because Ghana for or move MPP in Banwe was disappointed. One young do be about the disappointment about Inti a best no I'm paying for the buyer say a best attitude to a ban was soon. A month for the break as I tell and your mon sound quite tenacity. Now Munko Jun Sana boy, yeah, from the any problem because you have said the Baya Makuyaba. No, Moo said there be at the Tembaba, young that said, young Dadano, young Tunu from police station to constituency to region to national. Said yes, to Yababa, they got 2 Banua. One more move clip of a burial or Bia Sepata, media or Muninara. Media Mawusha almost fata. But then you be a baku panel Bequaque, or be a Union China Kama. Not 2028 young to me no. Nagana, I'm finding to my papa. Only Yamia.
Meda se na wo de ade aba. Be ba cho majo e.
Brahma, good evening.
Yes sir.
Patrol Misak Asante Amasame. The Edicano, Dr. Razak Kodupuku, Wakasapa. As when people the Omo Penuquenti, where do okay, Ubukum, Ubitifie, Adana Paso, 18 atem. Now, Memana Asamanoso. Now, Bramak, APP, so Omo Promaya Sampa, I guess 2028 about one Colombia contested. So, sir, also how near Mania with your kum, any more papa, and as we be inflation, Abedu, the city $2, baby Abedu, the full plus, and then any man now start here. Nebo perform. Not more besama umenya kuwestisika akoboka. Ballot papers over pentagram form. It is a common pomay ye pano some person may the 2 ponkoswa. And can we have 2028 can on be with the time a contest. So I said defeat. I a deep more mono. 2024 crowd at the moment to 4 ball. And I also as I say, NPP 4 a year. What you say? Dr. Baumia already medical 30% aguna license mukra. Also say executive for all more no make me our more poor money from wɔn a wɔn kɔtu aba maa no wɔn na ɛnɛ yi wɔn ta kɔtu aba nti ɛyɛ den yɛ wɔn medical kura mɛ no ɛyɛ ti dada ɛde sɛ ɛbɛsɛ 70% ana kan ne ban a aka no ɛyɛ kɔkyɛ na ɛyɛ disifoɔ deɛ ɛyɛ mpaebɔ paa ne yɛ ɛni so adi hu no ɛsɛ Dr. Bawumia ɔbɛsa ba bio saa so wɔn deɛ yɛ so no a yɛ mo kasire nti yɛsrɛ wɔn mo wɔn sa fa Dr. Bawumia mla na asa no odi the platform no so off beat no almost twice so yes I should no man best 35%.
Medan siana wodie mefa last one Majo and last but one okay yetio
Mario
nua yetio
combination do na from mapo
okay
me so kan me ga just betra me ya Majo nyɛ te sɛ MPP ni AC wɔn tem no tete yɛtena kan ne yanke bia wɔsɛ yɛkeka kwa wɔde ba bɛhyɛ yɛn so sɛ obi abɛka sɛ obi ani mi asɛm na so apɛ ɔte hɔ yi ti saa nyansa wei na adi na ɔne bi na wɔn mo ka wɔ pipi na wɔn mo amfa na sɛ sɛ ɛre wo bi sa no na so wɔn ka no wɔfa yɛ so ba ne sɛ na ebebi sei na ma jeli asɛm keke bi ma mpɛntwo me fra me nya ho nti no wɔn sɛ yɛ kokoko board na si sɛ yɛ bɛnya gold board na ade ba ko bɔ hɔ a MPs no hɔ obia ministers no obia so so ɔbɛyɛ reboard one fan ka majali sika wo papa wo ba to wi na ade a wo na wo fan wo
o se yemfa reboard emra
isana tenen well na wo se problem afa o kan sam de wo kwa show ta ko ki na ade ehye no nkani na wo de ko ba e bi sika be ro ma because e bi no wo de ade ni ade papa Chester America wo weapons mo di asapa obi di okwa e bi ama afa show no nti no wɔfa weboard mra no onye obi nda no sɛ minister sɛ na ɛfɛre a ni sɛ betuma akɔda no anasɛ kɔblama afo kakyɛ no ma meda ase
meba chon so meda ase me fa last one Majo
Magari Joso
yetio
na weboard hey Magari good ni ko credit kwa ya hu ya wano na yakɔfa wi Magari mabai mamichia ona go sombo na yana secretary Justin Kodia na Samia Uku woman organizer ya mame akuti Magari eto de bi na bisi mitie omukasa muka kese utna power sao utna so power aban papa sa asem na ye ka.
Hello. Okay. Mediasi. Eti ana yane aye Dr. Razak Kojopoku ena idin komo. MPP internal matters arising and national politics. Said ya no mayeko. Razak.
Jerry.
Every Sabriye, what are you expecting from your party?
Every Sabriye, what I'm expecting from our party is you be normal Ghana for ebetime senya areshemu weyemu. Na ya offer responsible opposition to Mahama's government, His Excellency. We have to be responsible because His Excellency John Mahama's government. There are some things he's getting it right, I getting it wrong. So we need to be very careful, even if when you are offering criticism of his government, you need to be very careful. You need to be very strategic. Adibiana, ye failure na or succeed, no. You don't go there back and attack him. Else we will incur the wrath of the Ghanaian people. Notwithstanding, you put your party structure right.
Okay.
They get the right presidential candidate. Yeah, the choice of the Ghanaian people. Best satisfy the base of our party, the constituency of our party. The constituency of our party is the business community, the intellectual community. Na ye bepe candidate umbeti maede etimi abebo ne chido. Ni ape candidate ubetimi agete back the traditional strongholds for the party. Ashanti, Eastern, Bono East, Ahafo, Central, Western regions. And these are areas anytime MPP etimi maximize the chances regardless of the performance of NDC in the other regions, MPP always win the election. So we have to be very strategic. That decision is in the interest of the MPP, is the interest of the elephant, not in the interest of any individual who is aspiring to become a president. Maybe Ghanaians even doesn't want that person. Thank you very much.
Meso medase. Eti for na ehane ye the torchlight jumedie ye DC. Enya be pa ya wada be sen hia de nsem foforo bebro. Midin the Mark Jerry OSEI AGYEMAN na me guest obefia ye friend Dr. Razak Kojopoku. Ono no be kan ye ho. Ono no ye founding president at the ma UP Tradition Institute. Now UP Tradition Institute what objectives are they?
On say your objectives, objectives of the UP philosophy. Okay. Offer New Patriotic Party, your tradition, UP tradition. Some extend it to UGCC UP tradition. So we stand to promote the ideals, the philosophy, and the vision of the UP tradition, which is the New Patriotic Party. Okay. So it's a think tank that is basically seeing how best MPP are coming back to power by holding Mahamad's government to accountability. All right. And also proposing certain alternative policy directions. We feel say when the party accepted, embrace it, it means so am I a party now and possibly help us come back to power.
Okay. But that's it. Enti ono the founding president UP Tradition Institute. Mediasede Mokoko Francis ene Juliana. Mediasede ma achu agbona na jarene na naboaje. Kwesi aboaje na immediate boss mediasede emano. Na mediasede anso de ma Dr. Faradexen na ono no ye executive producer fully supported by my general manager Kennedy Asantiose. Womo de boy chidom ye de dwumadie. Ye de bro. Ochina no pa me no be share the morning show no so. Ghana muntie. Me sorry DJ Foreigner and they take you over. And ne just say well who nyoma na de adeda na bibia timi akoso. Yankopon ko bibia ho ye ko ochina enya me pa e besen hia.